Oh hey, didn't see you there. How's it hanging, chaps? Today I wanted to talk about a movie that has quite frankly been making the rounds in both the box office and online, and for good reason. This film genuinely might be the film of the summer. It is packed with emotion, action, and a lot of good stuff. So today, I wanted to talk about everybody's favorite wall crawler, Spider-Man, on this brand new day. Spoilers for this movie! If you have not seen this movie, get your butt in the car and drive yourself to your nearest theater, because oh my god, are you missing out? If there's anything you should have FOMO over, it's not seeing Brand New Day. So get in your car and head on over there now. Come back to this video when you're done. Capiche? Alright, so for those of you who have been living under a rock the past 5-10 years, let me give you a quick recap on what's been going on in Spider-Man's life. Now, as of the last film, Spider-Man kind of made an oopsie when trying to hide his secret identity that was revealed by Mysterio in Far From Home. Doctor Strange did a spell, it accidentally brought in the other villains from other movies, Toby and Andrew showed up, shocker, and by the end of the film, Spider-Man had to make the decision to make Strange cast a spell that would make the entire world forget who he is, at the cost of his girlfriend, his best friend, and everyone he loves. So by the end of that movie, he has lost everything. He lost everything. And he has now fully devoted himself to being Spider-Man. That is where we pick ourselves up in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The first thing I want to talk about is the action in this film. And let me tell ya, seeing Spider-Man fight in this movie, it is the most Spider-Man I feel like he has felt, quite possibly ever. Some of them, it feels like the Insomniac games. Now, however you feel about those games, I think we have to unilaterally agree that those games have some of the best Spider-Man action ever, and it makes sense. It's a Spider-Man game, you gotta have some fighting in there. And I feel like they ripped it straight from the game and put it into this movie. Heck, I can imagine Scorpion having the freaking triangle plus circle combo above his head when Spider-Man yeets him into that car. R.I.P., old lady if you're dead, or I don't know who was in the car. This movie's action just breathes Spider-Man. I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm gonna say stuff just exuberates Spider-Man, and I hope you know what I mean by that. The TASM 2 lovers certainly understand that. Finally, we get to see Tom really get into it. And on a similar note, the web usage slash web swinging in this movie is phenomenal. Seeing him move about, and it's just so clean. He is swinging in such fast maneuvers, and honestly, again, feels ripped from the comics and Insomniac games. I'm gonna say that a lot too. And especially when he gets his mutation too, game over. He is finally moving like Spider-Man should move. He is posting up like a spider. I'm so glad we get to see Tom Holland do that after what felt like more stiff and less fluid movements in his past 3 films. Now, I'm not much of an expert when it comes to the filming aspects of movies and the certain cinematography in the lighting and stuff, but this movie just looks phenomenal. The camera angles they use are really cool. They give a lot of diversity to this film. You're not just watching the same kinds of shots over and over. No, you get some unique stuff in this movie. A lot of the close-up shots you get, the one in the mask is really cool in my opinion. Reflective shots, in the water when Spider-Man's walking up and when he sees Hulk. I can't talk today. When he sees Hulk and you see the reflection on the water. It's just really cool how they do that. And also, this movie has a really good balance of colors and darker hues. There's a lot of good colors in this movie, but when there's emotional or darker times, darker beats, I should say, they deliver on those. It's like we finally escaped the purgatory of MCU gray, and we actually get to have fun with a comic book movie. I know, shocker that it's taken 20-something years for that to happen. But we're finally getting around to it. Alright, let's get to the big kahuna. The story in this movie is phenomenal. I know a lot of us joke around, we love seeing Spider-Man suffer. Peter be broke. But it's genuinely so good to see Peter at his lowest and see just how much he can be pushed to his limits before he snaps. And Tom does a good job, but I'll get to him later. The story just breathes Spider-Man. Like, this is gonna be confusing, but the home trilogy felt like... I saw this analogy, I don't remember who used it, I might put it in. Editor, put it in if, put the... Editor, put the video in, or the person that I got this from, but... The home trilogy felt like MCU Spider-Man, whereas this movie feels like Spider-Man in the MCU. The first 20 minutes of this movie is a montage of just Peter getting up to Spider-Man stuff, and it's such a different tone from the home trilogy. Seeing him, like, fight Ramrod, just the whole montage with, like, Ramrod, Scorpion, Tombstone. I wish we would have seen more of him, but we'll get to that later. And it sets the tone perfectly. Destin finally gave us the Spider-Man we all needed. He's like, we're done with this Iron Boy Jr. bullcrap. Here is Spider-Man. Like, just the first act of this movie makes you almost forgive Marvel for not giving this us... Blah! The first act of this movie almost makes you forgive Marvel for not giving this to us, like, 10 years ago. I said almost because I'm still mad we didn't get this 10 years ago, but I'm also okay with it because, to be fair, I was a baby when Homecoming came out. A wee little child. The emotional beats in this movie hit so hard. Seeing Peter just go through trial after trial, getting beaten and bruised both physically, mentally. It's so cool to see him pushed to his limits. And the mutation also helps with that, but again, I'll get to that later. And just finally being able to see him in these heartfelt and sad moments is what I really love about Spider-Man. Like, seeing him push through these moments and striving to do good despite that. And the mutation also really helps getting him into a further state of depression. I feel like the mutation in this movie was a bit of a symbiote substitute in some ways because they maybe didn't want to do that yet, or just... It felt a little bit like the symbiote in terms of, like, his aggression, but that made it different enough with the whole biology thing going on, and he's not, like, emo. Yeah. But he's also not going completely off the walls killing people. I hope he gets to keep these abilities in future movies, because I wish we would have saw more of that in the film. I feel like they got a little bit sidelined with the inhibitor. I'm glad they did bring it back in the final act, for him to, like, rage out and, like, go against the hand. Not rage out, but you know what I mean. But I hope he gets to use these abilities for good moving forward, and maybe even see them evolve. Maybe see Man-Spider. Who knows? Also, seeing him get absolutely wrecked by Jean was awesome. She was both physically destroying him and mentally tearing him down. It was diabolical, and I ate up every second of it. It was awesome. The scene where Peter's talking to MJ and he is, like, crying in her arms, and then Jean reveals it's her. Oh my god! And his realization, his face just makes it 10 times better. It's like the most diabolical stuff ever pulled. It is nasty. The story's awesome. I loved it. It was the perfect blend of humor, emotion. It hits you in all the right spots that Spider-Man needs to hit you in. It just... I'm going to take a lot of pauses because it's hard to put into words how much I enjoy this movie. Also, can we admit now that Tom is the best Spider-Man without a doubt? I feel like this movie kind of proves that Tom is Peter Parker. Tom is Spider-Man. he's able to keep the lighthearted moments light and funny while also delivering on some of the best Spider-Man emotion we've had in a long time. And he's just able to balance it so well. Like, I've never both been laughing as much as I did, immediately go over to, oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy. This movie proved that Tom is... Blah, blah. Tom Holland is the best superhero casting for a movie ever, other than whatever the hell Hollywood is doing to breed perfect Superman actors. I swear, I wouldn't be surprised if they killed Tom's uncle and made Tom just live out the life of Peter Parker as a child to make sure they had a perfect Spider-Man. It's like that on point. I cannot picture anybody else as Peter anymore. I can't watch Toby or Andrew anymore. I can't go back. Hats off to you, Holland. Jon Bernthal did really good as Punisher. I'm not a huge Punisher fan. I have never seen the show. This is my first experience with Jon Bernthal's Punisher. I did start Daredevil, though, so I'm getting there. If you want to review a Daredevil, let me know and I'll give you it, even though it's like 10 years too late. But I loved his dynamic with Spidey. I love how they went from like hating each other to becoming like genuinely older brother, little brother. It was so awesome and wholesome, which is kind of ironic considering it's the Punisher. And obviously, in no small part was it because of Tom and John. They just have such good chemistry, man. Some of the best chemistry I've seen in a while, especially when it comes to Marvel. And a standout performance in this movie, I feel like, was most definitely Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. He has been stifled so long into being just the nerdy kind of like awkward nerdy guy, I feel like. She-Hulk really ruined him. I hate that show. I hate it. Finally, we get to see him really give it his all. Dude, when he is like cowering in fear when he's turning into the Hulk, he's like, he's coming, I can't stop it. I was like, oh my god. It just proves he needs better material, and Mark Ruffalo can be an amazing Hulk. The writing in this movie is also really good. Every conversation feels like it flows naturally, whether it be argumentative, funny, emotional, whatever the scene needs, it delivers on it in spades. And the villain monologue, not monologues, but just Jean's whole speeches to Peter are also really good. I love them. It's kind of funny to me thinking about it now. It feels like when the director and writer were talking, like the writer just wanted to fit so many monologues in. So it's like, Destin comes in and he's like, man, these monologues are really good. I think Sadie's gonna have a lot of fun with these. Oh, no. Sadie's not giving these monologues. I mean, she's giving a couple of them, but that's not all of them. Oh, okay then. Who's giving them then? Everyone. I'm sorry. Every single actor gets a monologue. Got it. Oh, and every extra too. We're gonna make sure that everyone gets their chance to become the next villain of the MCU. We're gonna give them a fantastic monologue. Got it. I can't enjoy a movie if it doesn't have good writing, and Brand New Day delivers, baby. Now, one of my absolute favorite parts of this movie are the characters. Like, Spider-Man, obviously, he's a standout. Gee, I wonder why. But everyone else does a phenomenal job, too. I've always grown up with shows and media that has Spider-Man teaming up with a lot of other heroes. To me, the Marvel Universe has Spider-Man as its main character, and he's just living in a world with other famous superheroes and a bunch of other stuff, and he's just this scrappy teen coming into the world and eventually becoming one of the greatest heroes of all time. I feel like that's a good way to envision it if you want to see everything as like a streamlined more universe, as opposed to everyone being like sort of their own spotlight. You know, if you had to pick, it's gonna be Spider-Man. If you had to pick a main character, it's gonna be Spidey. Come on. So I just love seeing him interact with other heroes, because that's part of the thing that I love about Spider-Man the most. He works great on his own, but he works just as well with other heroes, and we get to see that a lot throughout this movie. You get to see him interact with everyone. Yelena, Hulk, Punisher. It's just supernatural feeling. Like I said, I haven't seen Punisher or anything else, but just seeing him show up, I'm like, this makes sense. Like, him and Spidey interacting, I had no confusion. I wasn't bothered that I didn't know anything. The whole Staten Island stuff, I don't know if that was referenced in the special that came out a couple months ago, or if that's just something that happened off screen. It just works. When it comes to Spider-Man, it just works. He can meet up with anybody at any time, and you don't need any context other than, this guy does this. And it delivers on that. Also, Punisher's inclusion was really cool. I feel like, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I feel like, I'm pretty sure Marvel makes sure that one of their MCU characters is in these Spider-Man films to stop Sony from getting full control, and you can always kind of tell. Like, with the first one, it was obviously Iron Man, second one, it was Nick, third one, it was Strange, and all those inclusions, I feel like, felt forced. You could tell, like, why are they here again? But in this movie, honestly, I can't tell who the inclusion is. It's either Hulk or the Punisher. And I'm leaning towards Punisher because he's in the movie more. And dude, it feels so natural. It's obviously, of course he's going to be in New York doing his own thing. And he's going to cross paths with Spidey. So of course, like, it just works. It's not like a weird random inclusion. It's not like Iron Man where it's like, why is he so influential to Peter? It's not like Strange where it's like the mystical stuff feels kind of forced. Nick was the one that felt closest to working, but still, it felt a bit weird. Punisher fits perfectly. He right in with the rest of the cast. And because of how many heroes were in this, I feel like MJ and Ned got a bit sidelined, and honestly, I think that was the best decision they could have made. Like, they were given enough screen time where they gave Peter emotional stakes, and trauma, thanks to Jean, but they weren't in it enough that it made the No Way Home spell feel inconsequential. I absolutely loved how MJ did not just fall in love with Peter again, and she genuinely felt like there's no fixing this. Like, it felt a lot like the Gamora scene in Guardians, but it wasn't the same. Like, obviously, Gamora is a different case because it's a different version of her, but MJ she understands that, like, she could have loved him, but that's not happening anymore. And I get it, they probably will bring them back together in, like, the 6th movie. But, honestly, I think it's amazing that they didn't, like, retcon No Way Home immediately. And just keep on with the whole fact that Peter is alone. By the end of this movie, he does get a couple friends. And that's another point of the movie. But, yeah, no, he's not getting his friends back right away. Seeing Scorpion come back also was so good. I'm so glad they paid it off. And they delivered. I feel like more people wanted him to be a major villain in the film, and I don't think that was ever going to be the case. I'm glad that he was more of, like, a secondary villain, and I'm glad he got to encounter Spidey more than once. That was really cool. I was worried he was just going to be in the montage, but he actually had a pretty decently large role in the film, and I'm glad that he was given such a big role. Also, Jean is the villain. She is diabolical. Where do I begin? She is, like, one of the most evil villains I feel like we've had in Marvel for a while, but I'll get to her in a bit. But yeah, the characters in this movie are amazing, and they just feel this version of your... But yeah, the characters in this movie are amazing, and they just make this New York feel so much more lived in and so much more busy, like it should be. I mean, like, it's MCU New York for crying out loud. The people in this town obviously are going to see... They're probably going to see superheroes every other day of the week, but I'm getting off topic. Also, I'm not going to say much about it, but the score in this movie is also really good. It elevates the emotional scenes, it brings levity to the humor scenes, and it delivers when Spidey is kicking. What am I doing? But yeah, it really delivers. But here is where I must skim the glaze off of this donut, because I have been sugarcoating this movie like it is Sugar Rush from Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna wreck it! I have been glazing this movie so much, you would think that there isn't even a pastry under that glaze anymore. Am I going too far with the analogy? I think I'm sounding kind of weird. Let's get back to it. This might be something only I'm complaining about, but I wish Peter was a bit more quippy in this movie. I get it. What is... Garbage. I'm gonna wait till it passes by so you guys have the crispest audio quality ever. So did you guys see that Craven movie? Fantastic. I love poop all over my... I'm gonna stop now. One thing in this movie that I feel like maybe it's only me complaining about, but I feel like Peter should have been a bit more quippy in this movie. Now, I get it. He's depressed. He's broke. He got no riz. No, he got no huzz. Peter has riz. I gotta stop. But basically, I know he's at his lowest. But this movie finally gave us the Spider-Man we all know and love, and delivered so much. I wish we could have seen him be more quippy. That would have just been 10 times. That would have just elevated this movie's Spider-Man-ness to another level. But that's not really that much of a complaint. I think if you had too much humor, it would have been bad. So I think they went the safer route, and it definitely paid off. And I did really love the Hulk in this movie, but I wish they would have used him more. This is why we need a new Hulk movie ASAP. I swear to God, Feige, if you guys do not deliver us a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie within the next 5 years, I'm going to inject myself with gamma radiation and make the movie myself.
Time to give the fans what we've been waiting for. What Marvel's too scared to give us. Yes! Yes! Hulk!
I still look better than movie leader.
Also, the ending moment with Aunt May and Jean confused me a little bit. Like, what I interpreted it as is like, that's a memory of Aunt May and Peter, and Jean just happened to be in Peter's spot, and the conversation happened to perfectly align with Jean's issue and Peter's. Again, I'm not harping on it too much. It was just a bit confusing. Also, not really a complaint, but I was a bit confused at why that cop lady had so much importance in this movie. Call me a LARPer, maybe she's super important, and she's like the most important character in Marvel. I don't know. I just don't see the point. I don't know if she was introduced in this movie or if she was in a different show or something. Like, maybe she was in one of the Netflix Defender shows. I don't know. But her prominence confused me a little bit. And now, we must address the Hulk in the room. Sadie Sink, a.k.a. Max Mayfield, a.k.a. Jean Elaine Grey. Now, let's explore a hypothetical real quick. Let's say that Jean Grey was not the villain of this movie. Let's say it was Green Jay. Same actress, same powers, same motivations, same lines, same everything, just not with the name Jean Grey attached. Now, in this version of the movie, Green Jay is a monster. She is one of the most evil villains Spider-Man has ever faced. And she is ruthless. She is chucking people into streets. She is manipulating hundreds of lives. She is tormenting Peter. She threatens to kill so many people, unleashes the Hulk. Overall, one of the most dastardly villains Spider-Man's ever encountered. And she even has motivations to do what she does. Again, they're not really redeemable, but that's why she's the villain. Like, she's not going to be ultimately redeemed. Like, it's not like Green Jay is some superhero that's super important to Marvel, right? Right? Now, in that universe, the villain is perfect. Absolutely perfect. You get, like, one of the greatest Spider-Man villains ever. But we didn't get Green Jay. We got Jean Grey. Now, my only experience with Jean Grey is the 90s X-Men show, so maybe she's a bit more angsty than in that show, but I feel like Jean is a monster in this movie. Like, she is killing innocent people, manipulating Peter's mind, and just being one of the most unhinged villains ever. Like, it's crazy some of the stuff she does in the movie. She throws an innocent old man into the street. She nearly kills MJ, and she freezes the entire, like, a giant portion of the city just because she's angry. Now, I get it. She has her reasons for doing it, her sister and all that stuff, but that's not an excuse. It's not. She's so out of characterly ruthless, to a point where I don't know how you're supposed to make her a hero. And the worst part about it all is she's so uncompassionate when she's doing this. She's not like, I have to do this. Like, I don't want to do this, but it's something I must do. No, she's enjoying it. She's having fun. And, like, the Jean that I know is deeply compassionate, cares about the one she loves, and is strong-willed and will not stop to deliver justice. Now, she's not going to kill people to deliver that justice. Which is why I feel like it's so hard for me to believe that this Jean Grey will become a face of the X-Men. I don't think Sadie Sink is a bad actress at all. I think she does phenomenal work in Stranger Things, and I haven't seen her in anything else, but I'm sure she's a good actress. But she's just playing Max with superpowers in this movie. Like, I'm sorry if that's controversial, but she's not Jean Grey. She is literally the dialogue. The dialogue is really what leans into this. She is very snarky and attitudey. Is that a word, attitudey? It's an attitudey. Attitudey is a word. St. Webster, call me up. We're going to add it into the next edition of the dictionary. I'm sure all 5 people still reading those are going to love it. But it's just Max. And, obviously, like, the run she does in the flashback, I'm sorry, that's just the Vecna run. That's just the exact same run she does when she's going to the portal. Don't clip that. And it breaks my immersion. Like, I can't picture her as Jean Grey. I can only see this as Max. Like, genuinely, I was in the theater, I'm like, having difficulty calling this woman Jean. I'm like, oh, dang, Max, crap, Jean. It's Jean, right, you gotta remember, this is Jean. Did she just kill that old man? But, again, I'm sure if she's given if she's given more material that explores the real Jean, I think Sadie can prove to be a good Jean. She just can't be Max. I don't think Max is Jean in the slightest. Also, I feel like this movie was kind of sacrificed to set up the X-Men movie. Like, obviously you got the Damage Control. I don't know the acronym. I'm gonna call it Damage Control. But obviously you got Damage Control, and then of course Jean. They're major players in this movie. I don't think they worsen the movie. I don't think it makes it a bad movie per se. But, dude, imagine if this version of Tom got to fight, like, Tombstone as the main villain. I was thinking, when they casted Tombstone, I'm like, I think this guy is going to be operating everything from the shadows. Like, he's going to be the one kind of manipulating all these villains. He's going to be opening up his criminal organization. He's going to really be a menace to Spider-Man in this movie. And then to see him only be, like, a montage villain was pretty disappointing. I think Tombstone is a really unique villain. My Tombstone rant will be for another day. And again, everything she does works so well as a villain. But Jean isn't a villain. She's a hero. Like, it's gonna be really hard to forgive her for her sins. We don't forget, Jean. We know what you did with MJ. If you just substituted her for a different villain, it would have made her 10 times better. But I just hope in the X-Men movie, she gets enough development to make her the Jean we all know and love. And I'm sure Professor X is going to play into that. But yeah, overall, I feel like this is genuinely, it's easily the best live-action Spider-Man movie. And it's in talks to be the best Spider-Man movie of all time. The action, the story, the emotion, it just all blends so perfectly well. Just tell a story that is a lot of people need. I feel like a lot of people are really down on their luck and are truly in a place where they feel like they can't do anything about it. I love the message of this movie. To me, the message is no matter how down on your luck you are, no matter how much you're suffering, how much pain you are never in a position where you can't do good. You always have a choice to be a beacon of hope for both yourself and others. And no matter how much you go through, no matter how much torment, physical pain, emotional pain you are going through, you are never, ever in a position where you can't do good. And that contrast is beautiful between Peter and Jean. Seeing Peter and Jean both of these so down on their lows, and Peter still choosing to do good and convincing Jean to do the same is amazing. And that's what Spider-Man's all about. Doing good even when you feel like you can't do anything right. But yeah, that was my review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Overall, I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. Easily such an amazing movie and a breath of fresh air after some of the less than stellar movies that have come out in the past couple of years. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It's been your boy
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Thank you all so much for watching. I'm so glad y'all watched the video. And if you've gotten to this part, I hate to ask, but subscribing would mean the world. And just making sure you got notifications on. Be sure to watch out, because I'm going to continue this series. I love talking about movies, and if you do too, come along for the ride. I'm sure I'd love to have you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next ride. Peace!